Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijoma here, and in this video you're going to learn how to make this beautiful milkmaid dress. Though we have a lot of milkmaid tutorials on YouTube already, but this one is a long version and I want to show you guys how you can sew this easily without darts or anything. Now I have my pattern papers. I know a lot of us hate pattern drafting, but we'll have to draft our pattern before we can get this dress. Now the first thing that we are going to do right here is to take out how many inches, like where you want it to start from at your around your bust. Then you mark your bust point. I want it to start at 6 inches from my shoulder. I mark my bust point 10, my armhole line is 8, my half length is 16, my shoulder to hip is 26 inches for the person that I'm making it for. Then I'll have to mark my full length, like the full length of this particular gown. And also remember to mark your knee line. My knee line is 35, the full length is 60 inches. Now I'll rule my lines. After ruling them, I'll label my chest line, my bust point, my half length, my hip line or shoulder to hip. This is my half length, this is my shoulder to hip or hip line. I'll also label my knee line and then the full length of the dress so that I will not get confused. Now after labeling all these lines, you just go ahead and take your body measurements. We're not using any darts for this dress. You don't have to use that. For if you want, you can use, but I do avoid that most of the time. Now I've divided my bust by 4 and I marked plus 1 inch seam allowance. At the half length, I'll divide my waist by 4 plus 1 inch for seam allowance. Note that you can notice that I don't have any darts on this particular dress. Then at the hip line, I will divide my hip by 4 plus 1 inch for seam allowance. At the knee line, I will subtract 8 inches from my total hip measurement and then divide it by 4. Let's say your hip is 40, you take out 8 from 40, that will be 32. You divide by 4 and then mark out your hip line. Then after doing that, you're going to connect our lines. I'll connect my bust to my waist, from my waist to my hip, from my hip to my knee line, and from the knee line I will connect straight down to the full length of this dress. Now after doing this, I'll go ahead and cut out this particular paper for the front. Then using the front paper, I will cut out the back. The front and the back are almost the same. The only difference there is just the zipper allowance, and then the neckline of the back is lower than the neckline of the front. That's just the major difference between the two of them. Then I will mark my chest line, that is like the width of my neckline, that is 12, and I connected to my armhole. You can see how I slanted my armhole, just a little slant. Then I'll go ahead and place this on a new paper, and on this paper I'll add my zipper allowance. Make sure that all the lines are aligning. Then you go ahead and add your zipper allowance. If you want to use 1 inch or 2 inches for your zipper allowance, it is up to you. But for the side will remain the same. Then after cutting out the side, I will cut out my zipper allowance. Like I will add my zipper allowance. I added 2 inches. I like adding extra to my zipper allowance. Then like I told you guys, the neckline of the front will be higher than the neckline of the back, so you raise the front neckline. This is our zipper allowance, right? I'll label my zip allowance first of all. Then I'll raise my front neckline. The front and the back will only be equal at the chest line. So after raising your front paper, you cut off the back. You can see the back is straight, so two of them will meet just at the chest line. That is how you make this back. Then the next thing that we are going to do is to rule this zipper allowance line. It is really important, and I told you guys that I will not use any dart for this particular dress, and you will see how I will do my manipulation at my zip so that I will not add darts to the back of my dress. And this dress does not have any half length, so at your half length, after marking zip allowance, at your half length, you will go in by 1 inch. Go in by 1 inch. This is in order to avoid zipper bulge. I don't know if you have heard of this zipper bulge, so that your zip will not be bulging at the back. So that's why I went in by 1 inch at the half length and I connected. So you can see how this gown looks like at the back. Now the center back went in, and then I connected it to the neckline and to the hip line. That is the way to avoid that, especially when you are making dresses and you don't want your dresses to have that. So this is my back. Right now, I'll move over to my front. From my bust point, I will come down by 3. That is my underbust. Get your underbust line, and you mark a straight line at that underbust. That is where this gather, this milkmaid effect to stop at. So it will start from the neckline and it will stop at the underbust. So this line that I marked right here is my underbust line, and I will cut it out from the rest of the front of this dress. Now, after cutting it out, I am going to give my front a little V shape. This is where the rope will come out from at the center front. Just give it a little V shape. You can stop at chest line or you can take it down to bust point. Then the next thing we are going to do now is to slash. Like, you can see the lines that I'm marking right now, 2 inches away from each other. You will mark these lines, and I'll label number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that I will not misplace any of them. After doing this, we are going to do our slash. Like, after slashing, you are going to do your spreading. So I like spreading on my fabric. First of all, I will get my fabric and I will fold. So this particular area will be on fold. This is our front, so the center front should be on fold. Now, after doing that, I'm going to place that paper on this fabric that I folded right now. This is my top, right? I'll place the paper on it, and I will add extra 2 inches at the top because I will hem it before fixing my rope. I will use that 2 inches to fold it before fixing my rope. Then at the down part, I will add half an inch. I'll add half an inch below it, 2 inches above for rope allowance, our rope allowance. Then half inch below for joining it to the gown. I'm going to join it back to the gown, right? So I am slashing right now, and I'll start spreading. So your spreading should be like 1 inch or 1.5 inch. It depends on how full you want that gathers to be, right? Then below this paper, you're going to add half an inch for joining it back to the gown. Now I am going to cut out the down part. I'll cut out the side. I will cut my armhole. If you want, you can leave your armhole for now. Then cut off from these 2 inches you added at the top and cut your armhole. You can see my armhole. Then our center front is on fold. Do not open this center front. The only thing that you're going to do at this center front is just to give it this V shape, like this V neckline shape. So right now I am done with this V neckline shape, and this is the area we are going to fold, and the other one we are going to use it to gather it to the gown. Now after doing that, I'll go ahead and cut out the rest of the gown. I'll cut my front. This is the front. It will be on fold. After cutting the front, I'll cut out my back, and I'll also cut my sleeve. cutting my drawstrings, the next thing that I'm going to do right now is to close my zipper allowance at the back. You can see the back, I have closed the zipper allowance. You can see the dart is not there, there's no dart there, but I did some manipulation at the zipper allowance and it is really looking good. Now I have my slits. My slits started from my knee line. Then this is our back, and I also hemmed the top of the back. When cutting out the back, remember to add 1 inch at the top for hemming the back. Now over to the sleeve, I have hemmed the down part and the lower part of this sleeve. This is where I'm going to add my elastic, and you can see our little armhole slants around there. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is to insert my elastic inside the top and the down part of this sleeve. Then after inserting our elastic, we will stitch and keep aside. I know you guys may be wondering how we join this sleeve to the dress. I'll show you guys how to join it to the dress. Now I am inserting my elastic. I'll keep that aside after inserting for the top and the down part. Now this is the front of our gown. This is from the underbust down to the full length. That is the reason why it has this shape. Now I am going to introduce the top. You can see the top. I used bias to hem that V neckline area, and then I'll go ahead and notch the center front of this particular gown. It is really important, notch the center front of this particular gown. After notching the center front, then we are going to join the top. Make sure that the center is merging the center on the main gown. Then before you do that, you can see my inner, I used bias to finish it. Before you do that, you go ahead and hem the upper part where you insert your drawstrings or your rope, drawstrings or rope. Then I'll go ahead and fold this particular top. That is what I'm trying to illustrate here. After folding the top, I am now going to join it. I will go ahead and join it to the gown. This is our milkmaid effect. This is the place that we are going to gather. Then I'll go ahead and insert my drawstring first of all. I like inserting my drawstring first of all. After inserting your drawstring, make sure you stitch it around that armhole area before adding to the gown. Done inserting it to the gown, to the top, sorry, and I have tied. I will use this lighter. I use lighter to seal my edges. Sometimes I use lighter, yes, in order to avoid sewing. Now after doing that, I will introduce from the underbust down to the full length. I'll just go ahead and use 1/2 inch to gather it, and you can see our effect is there already. Now after doing this, you can see what we have. I'll go ahead and join the front and the back. You don't need to do too much, just bring your back, pin it to the front, take your body measurements, and then you will go ahead and shape. This gown is not really difficult. Then I told you guys that the front and the back of this gown will meet at the chest line, like the armhole line. The neckline of the front is way higher than the neckline of the back, so just make sure that two of them are equal at the armhole. You can see what I have there. Sorry, I couldn't send you guys the picture on my client. This dress was really looking good on her, no adjustments, the back part relaxed because of that zipper intake that I did at the back. I don't know if you have tried out this trick, and I tried some clothes that are a bit stretchy, not tight, not like the normal non-stretchy clothes. I tried this out mostly on clothes that are somehow stretchy. Now I'll go ahead and take my bust measurements, my waist measurements, my hip measurements, and I'll shape. So right now I'm done shaping, and I'll go ahead and turn. Before adding hemming gum to your sleeves, please remember to overlock. You overlock this particular gown. So I'm trying to like save time. I don't like my videos long. After doing this, I'll go ahead and iron this dress very well, and the hip is somehow. I'll go ahead and adjust my hip. The next thing that we are going to do is to trim our armhole. We are going to trim our armhole a bit. Yes, you trim it a bit before attaching our sleeve to the gown. So if I tie the front rope, this is what I have. And then I'll introduce the sleeve. For the sleeve, I've added elastic to the top and to the down part of the sleeve. The sleeve is not too much. You can add any sleeve you want to this dress actually. So this is what we have after tying our drawstring, and this is our sleeve. I'll go ahead and attach my sleeve from the front right to the back. Like, the sleeve should be 4 inches away from a zipper allowance. At the back, it should be 4 inches away from a zipper allowance so that it will relax. At the end of the day, this is what we have. I hope this tutorial is helpful. Do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, drop comments if you have any question in the comment section. See you all in my next class. Bye.